Political parties have been put on their toes, putting finishing touches to their strategies towards winning the governorship elections in Edo and Ondo states. Just as President Tinubu has handed over the APC flag to the party's standard bearer, Monday Ekpebolo, and his running mate. Ondo State is also getting set to unveil the gladiators vying for the Alagbaka government house, who are the early entrants. Also on political update today, IPAC promises better interface with election management bodies and other stakeholders in the electoral process. We have these and more on our lineup. I'm Fisayo Ogunfuyi. Welcome. President Bola Tinubu is expressing early hope from the signs he saw that the All Progressives Congress APC is looking good to win the forthcoming governorship election in Edo State. The president expressed the confidence as he presented his party's flag to the standard bearer in the September election, Monday Ekpebolo, and his running mate Dennis Idausa at the State House. In a related development, the People's Redemption Party has presented the certificate of return to its candidate in the forthcoming governorship election in Edo State, Patient Ndidi Key.
I am very glad of what you've done as party leaders, putting our house in order. To our candidate, thank you. To the running mate, thank you. That is here for you to make name in Nigerian politics. And I assure you, we are with you.
The party is united because they all gave undertaking. They are unanimous. They are coming together to ensure that we win the election.
What has happened in Edo shows that Mr. President is a Democrat, is a voice for the voiceless. The primary in Edo was well contested and a winner emerged. We have our deputy now. We are setting the ball rolling.
Edo have tried APC, they have tried PDP. Now it is time for them to try another party, which is PRP. If, by the grace of Almighty God, she is voted into power, a lot of changes will take place in Edo State.
We believe in serving the people. We talk about the Talakawas, which is the poor people, the average people, the underserved population. So what we want to do is take them from where they are, not leaving them poor, but transforming their lives.
And from Edo, we move to Ondo State as the political landscape in Ondo State undergoes another phase of democratic engagement. And on its way towards electing its next governor, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, in its schedule of activities has set aside April 6th to 27th, 2024 for political parties to run their primaries in the states. As the dates draw near, political parties are mobilizing and setting the stage for the governorship primary election, where the best candidate to represent each party in the November 16 governorship election is expected to emerge.
Preparations for party primaries in Ondo State include declaration of intentions, online and offline publicity, consultations, and various strategic political meetings. Already, some parties have fixed dates for their primaries in order to meet the Independent National Electoral Commission deadline, while others are still awaiting further directives from the leadership of their parties.
The National Secretariat has already told us that on the 25th of April this year, it will hold. Now, the mode is also prescribed. The mode is indirect. Indirect in the sense that each of the wards will elect 3 ad hoc delegates in a direct manner. Then each local government will also elect what they call national delegates.
Most of the aspirants who have been showing their intents to contest have been coming to us at the party secretariats to inform us they are participating in this coming APC primary, and we've been welcoming them.
The People's Democratic Party, PDP, has about 8 aspirants running. The All Progressives Congress, APC, has over 15, while the Social Democratic Party, SDP, says so far no aspirant has declared intention.
I won't be confident enough to tell you that we will be holding our primary very soon, because so far no candidate has shown up.
Party faithful say they are looking forward to a transparent electoral process where the best candidates for their parties will emerge.
To the meat of the matter, as the political parties begin the processes leading to the governorship elections in Edo and Ondo State later in the year, the Inter-Party Advisory Council says it has begun robust engagements on better election management with stakeholders. Joining us is IPAC National Chairman Yusuf Dantele of the APM. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, Nigeria.
You've been across the country. Of course, before we, zero in on 2 states that will be having their elections, you've done some inauguration of new state councils of IPAC. What is the marching order? What are you telling them in terms of interaction between the party, amongst the parties in those states?
First, we came in on the 18th of December 2023, and the code of conduct is clear that after the election we have to oversee the conduct of a state election, then cascading it into the local government level. So far, in the last 6 weeks, we have conducted election in about 29 states. Today will be 29. So we believe that between now and the end of the month, we should round up the election. And after the election, we will have a retreat for all the newly elected executive of the state to make them understand what it is about IPAC and what they need to do, and they need to ensure that they work within the framework of the provisions of the code of conduct of IPAC. IPAC, as the name implies, Inter-Party Advisory Council, is not an opposition body. It is an umbrella body where all the registered political parties are. So the party in power and those in opposition are members. So what we do is to deepen democracy. In the course of doing that, we try to ensure that there is total inclusivity of both the in and the out group, people with disability, women, and the youth group. And then outside that, we have constituted the standing committees of IPAC, from strategy to ADR and others. And then we have some directorate that we have set up that will be announced shortly, I think before the end of the week. And then IPAC 2, we have established, with the aid of the Westminster Foundation for Democracy, we thoroughly designed or developed the strategic plan for the years 2024 to 2028, which will be unveiled, and I believe that you will be invited to come and monitor the occasion for the unveiling of the strategic plan.
All right, talking about electoral processes, we have 2 major ones later in the year, Edo and Ondo State. You saw what played out in Edo State, the primaries, conducted by, parties under your umbrella as well. You saw what transpired where some had primary parallel elections, some, had to go into, litigations and all that. Some are still ongoing in terms of the resistance to some of the results and all that. How do you intend to really deepen democratic practices? Because at the party level, we must get it right first before you can advertise your candidates to Nigerians.
Okay, you see, when looking at a problem, if you want to look at solutions, first you have to identify the problem and the remote and the immediate causes of the problem. So some of the immediate problems that you have is that people are looking at the seats, and that everybody believes is capable of, which is within their constitutional right to contest. And then another one you have to look at is the influence of godfatherism in the polity, that some persons, maybe the sitting governor or maybe other persons who feel, okay, we are the kingmakers, we are supposed to determine who becomes what, who occupies what seat, when and how. And then we have the people too who are supposed to vote. So some of these things, these are the immediate problem. When you look at the remote problem, we've always been talking about the lucrativity of political office holding in Nigeria, and then the power associated with some of these offices outrageously. These are things that we are looking at, and for you to achieve this, we have to look at constitutional amendment, which IPAC in its wisdom too, is constituting a constitutional review committee to look at the flaws. This will do with INEC and other stakeholders to look at what are the problems, what are the things in the past elections, where are we coming from, what are the flaws, what can we do to address some of these things. Then we'll send this to to the National Assembly to see how that can be done, since the process of constitution, the review of the constitution is ongoing. So these are the things. But on our own, in the immediate, we will continue. We always sensitize the voters, and then we'll talk to the party leader to ensure that no one is excluded.
I was just coming to this last leg of your answer, and a lot of people have proceeded or made a claim that when the electoral processes are over, voting is done, we have a winner. There seems to be a lull in party activities in terms of engagement with the people. Do you agree? And is there any plan, perhaps, to take our processes beyond just elections, so that people can actually know the direction of the thoughts of these political parties, which will galvanize its interest, so that we won't see the voter apathy we've recorded and in past elections?
I will say we don't have a perfect system anywhere. Our democracy is developing. Recently, we have a program organized by NIPS in conjunction with one organization where regional IPAC leaders within the West African sub-region came on board to discuss, look at the way, can we look at the idea of developing our own local homegrown democracy. You understand? Because this democracy we practice today is in Nigeria seem to be far from the democracy we have in the Western world, and some of those things, and that is why you have military incursion in some of the countries that we have today. But God forbid, it's not, even at that, we are not welcoming it anywhere in here. But we will look at it and see how we can have ideological based political parties, and then membership of political parties, and then reduce some of these things. Just like I said earlier, it will have to fall back to Constitutional and Electoral Act amendment. Maybe when we reduce the issue of cross-carpeting, and then we are able to firm up membership of political party based on the ideologies of such party, it will help in reducing some of the idleness during within the period that there are no elections, until elections are around.
All right, we'll come to, the Ondo State elections, and, tell us about the feelings, of course, you had in terms of inaugurating members in those two key states, because, of course, we would be looking at interface with other stakeholders in the electoral process as well. But let's take a few stories. We'll come back to you shortly. The National Working Committee of the Governing All Progressives Congress, APC, says it has concluded necessary arrangements for the smooth takeoff of e-registration of party members. This was after a closed-door session with the 36th State Chapter Chairman of the party at the National Secretariat in Abuja, and also the Benue State Working Committee of the APC, expressing confidence that the Secretary to the We'll take that second story, but let's take the first one in terms of e-registration, and then we'll return to our discourse.
We aligned ourselves with the efforts of the economic reforms being made by Mr. President.
Doing our best as a party. When we came on board, this very executive under my leadership, recall, we had no member of the National Assembly, because the one we had, the only one we had, was Right Honorable John B, left for PDP. So we had no member of the National Assembly. We had just 2 of the 3 House of Assembly. And we started the working. And today, by God's special grace, we have 2 senators in the 3 Senate that we're supposed to have. We have 10 House of Rep in the 11 federal constituencies in our states. We won the governorship, we won the presidential election, we have 2 senators in the 3 Senate that we're supposed to have. We have 10 House of Rep in the 11 federal constituencies in our states. We won the governorship, we won the presidential election.
I want to rededicate my loyalty, my unflinching loyalty, back to the party. For many of them, they have other alternatives. But for us, We have no any other alternative. We will live and die in this party.
The second part of that report was the Benue State Working Committee of the APC expressing confidence that the Secretary to the Government of the Federation and leader of the party in the state, Senator George Akume, will continue to grow the APC in line with the renewed hope agenda of the current administration. Moving on now, the Federal Capital Territory chapter of the All Progressive Congress APC has criticized the appointment of members from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, into key positions. Members say the action is detrimental to the political structure of the APC in the FCT.
We are not saying appoint every of the appointment to be FCT. No, if you want somebody from the geopolitical zone, we have them here. If you need people from Rivers 100 that are playing politics here, we have them. If you need people from Sokoto who are playing politics here, we have them. If he needs the indigenous people, they are here. Whatever persons and whatever discipline, if he needs professors, we have them. He needs PhD holders, we have them. Barristers, we have them. Technocrats, we have them. Everything he needs, we have them here.
And moving on now, the Committee for the Defense of Democracy and the Rule of Law is drumming support for the current administration's anti-corruption fight. However, enjoined opposition leaders to desist from frivolous petitions against perceived enemies.
No sensible Nigerian would oppose the fight against corruption, considering its horrible effects on the socio-economic well-being of the country. It is a phenomenon that we must be decisively fought. No doubt, we support the anti-corruption drive of the current administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, which has clearly stated and so far demonstrated its total intolerance for corruption of any sort. However, the agencies constitutionally charged with fighting corruption must have to avoid fighting corruption with corrupt means of political compromise and means that are against the due process of law, as this will surely run counterproductive to the robust anti-corruption policy of Tinubu-led administration.
And lastly, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, says the federal government is deliberate in harnessing the potential of Nigerian youths towards the socio-economic development of the nation. The SGF, represented at an event organized by the North Central All Progressive Congress APC Youth Leaders Forum in Abuja, explains that youth empowerment is top on government's priority list. That's about some of the stories making the round. We still have Yusuf Dantele, National Chairman IPAC, with us. I saw you on the floor at the National Coalition Center during the general elections and the announcements. At that time, you were just in the trenches, just like us. But now you head the IPAC. Looking at some of the things that played out during the general elections, what are you bringing on board in terms of your engagement with the election management body, with 2 elections later in the year that will be, Nigerians will be interested in seeing if there are some improvements in this process. What are your engagements like with the election management body at this time?
We had an engagement with INEC, the regular quarterly meeting we have with INEC and all the political parties. I think since my emergence, today is the first time that I was there as the chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council. And one of the things I made clear in my speech is to look at some of the things that happened in the last election, see how it can be improved. We will look at it with INEC and other stakeholders, see how we can review some of the things, and possibly in the course of the amendment of Electoral Act and Constitution, see how some of those things can be taken care of. But in all, INEC performed wonderfully well in that election. Reason being that this is the only in the last election, you saw the performance of the opposition parties, other parties that emerged very strongly. There is the only election, the election that you see bus drivers, you can see the mosaic, the way people emerged from different offices, House of Assembly, in as much as that. So we'll look at that and then see how we can come up with something better. But I think the election has come and gone. The lessons that we got from 2023 general elections, we'll look at in the course of the amendment of the Constitutional Electoral Act to see how we can make it better.
All right, you also belong to a party. In some ways, would there be a conflict of interest when it comes to determining one or two things in the council?
No, it won't. I swore to abide by the code of conduct to ensure that I uphold the interest of everybody. You see, one of the things that will bring crisis if there's no truth, if there's no objectivity in taking decision. But if there's objectivity and you believe that what is yours will come to you, and then if you see white, you say it's white. If it's black, you say it's black, and then give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. I don't think there will be any problem. We cannot all have it at the same time. If you have it today, tomorrow you might not have. If you don't have it today, tomorrow you might have. So that's my own belief.
Before I let you go, of course, you are now in the saddle of IPAC, but it seems as if no election goes in Nigeria without a visit to the courts. We have the, campaigns, the election itself, then post-election litigations. That also happened in the IPAC elections as well. Is this a malaria we'll continue to treat?
Just like, you see, we are all human beings, and then you cannot stop somebody from who he is. That has come and gone. The man who left the office, he saw that this is what he wants to do, and he did it, and he got the result. But what is important now is that one is behind. The matter has been determined by court, and we have one IPAC, and then we'll continue to be together. IPAC is one united family, and then we are over that. But then, what we are doing now is to see how can we deepen democracy to reduce litigation, even inter-party and intra-party. Today, while we were discussing, the INEC chairman was talking about the crisis, or inter-party and intra-party crisis. I made a suggestion that some of these crises, they should refer it to also that the ADR Committee of Inter-Party Advisory Council can begin to look at it to reduce the litigation in court. And I think that will help us. But if you look at it too, in one of the things you just heard now, the development in FCT, that one party was accusing the other of picking I want to commend the party that was appointing members of other party. That is inclusivity, that is democracy, and that is the solution to some of the crises we are talking about. Because where you bring in the person who is opposition to contribute to the system, morally, he will have no right to even condemn the system. You are part of this system. So since you are part of it, you can bring in that idea that you think you have that you want to go into government. So, and I urge the current government and those in power to imbibe this principle. Yes, in IPAC, one of the policies we design is that for all those that contested election, the ones that lost, we will still bring them in to contribute, let them own the system. It doesn't matter because we won the election, we are the best. No, some of them will have some better things to offer than we who are on the seat. So I urge all the executive and legislative arm of government to bring in the opposition members, say that what is important is to give the dividends of democracy to the people. And that can only be done through absolute inclusivity.
That's a point, of course, we would round up our political update for today. Hopefully we'll get you back, especially when the elections in those two states draw even closer. That has been Yusuf Dantele of the IPAC, National IPAC, freshly minted National Chairman of IPAC. Thank you for being a part of Political Update.
Thank you so much.
All right, that has been the program for today. We'll be back again on Friday for another episode of Political Update. Between now and then, play your politics for the greater good. We'll keep you updated on events around the country. So keep it locked on Nigerian Television Authority, Africa's largest and finest, for news reviews, previews, and interviews. Bye-bye now.